We may have just witnessed one of the craziest dirt bike auctions ever, so let's take a look at what went down. A few weeks ago we made a video about the HJ Pugh auction that was selling off a load of interesting bikes from one single collector. Including a few stands, signs and mats, there were more than 90 items up for sale. The jewel in the crown was of course the crated 350 Yamaha Banshee, and in this video I'm going to show you what that bike and the rest of the machines sold for at the auction. Hold on to your hats, this is going to be wild. The sale started off small with some stands, some mats and some Honda signage, which went for some eye-watering prices. And when I mean eye-watering, take a look at this. After seeing the prices that those stands sold for, I was absolutely gobsmacked. And I think a lot of people in the room knew they was in for a long day as well. After seeing those prices, I wasn't sure what the bikes we featured would end up going for. One thing I knew for certain though was that I was going to be priced out of the bidding today. So the first machine that we featured was a 2007 CR250. This machine looked pretty clean, very fresh, nearly unused. We couldn't say whether it was actually a never been used CR250 before, but it was fresh, it was clean. It would be the perfect machine for a VMXDN Hawkstone or one of those events like that. I said in our original video, this would be the machine that I'd be most interested in bidding on, but quite quickly that bike went beyond my means and it eventually sold for £12,200. There was a couple of other CR250s in the sale as well, and the most expensive one went for £12,500. That's a lot of money for an old bike. When we were looking around the collection, there was a few interesting bikes that caught my eye, and this next one, lot number 50, was one of those machines. It's a 1987 Honda TR200 Fat Cat. Now this was Honda's attempt at breaking into the fat wheel game, and it was a bit of a failure really. It only ran for 1986 and 1987, and then they stopped producing these bikes. It's definitely an interesting little machine, but was it worth the £7,900 price tag? Let me know what you think. Moving on to lot number 44, another fat wheel bike. This was the Yamaha Big Wheel 80, which was one of the more successful fat wheel bikes of the era. This was basically a PW80 with big fat wheels, and the parts were interchangeable with those PW80s. I said in the original video, I've never seen one here in the UK, but I think over in the States, over in Canada, these things were massively popular back in the late 80s. Again, an interesting bike, an interesting machine. This one sold for £4,300. So like I said, we were walking around the showroom at HJ Pugh and there were a bunch of motocross bikes and a bunch of monkey bikes that did pique my interest, but it was the quirkier, more unique machines that really grabbed my attention. And this next machine was certainly one of those bikes. This is a Honda Cub EZ9. It's a 90cc automatic scooter that was made between 1991 and 1996. And I believe they was only available in Japan. They weren't road legal, so they was only really for the campgrounds and some light off-roading. It was a twist and go with an electric start, hence the EZ name. Again, a super weird, super interesting little bike that went for £7,800. And if you thought the EZ9 was cool, then take a look at this. This is the EZ9 Snow Edition. Again, a super weird, super exotic machine that was only made in Japan, and I believe they only made about 300 of these bikes. There's a little bit of debate around that. Some people say that yes, you could buy these straight from Honda, but other people say no, you had to buy a conversion kit to turn your standard EZ9 into the Snow Edition bike. Again, this caught a lot of attention in the room, as you would imagine, and this sold for £13,600, so way more expensive than the standard version, even though here in the UK it would be way less usable, way less practical. Now let's move on to some bigger bikes. Next up is the 1980 Yamaha Tri-Z 250. This was Yamaha's attempt at joining the three-wheel world, and it was a little late to the party really. You've seen us put a Tri-Z head-to-head against a Honda ATC on this channel before. We love these machines, but it's pretty evident that they're definitely not as popular as the red versions. As we saw in this auction, I thought this bike would go for a lot of money, but it was slow going really as the bids came in, and it only ended up at £12,500. I say only, that's a lot of money for an old bike, but as you're about to see, in comparison to some of the other three-wheelers, that's lowballing it. So you might think that I was mental by saying that the Tri-Z was not a lot of money at £12,500, but this is why I'm saying that. Up next was the 1986 ATC 250R. This thing is the holy grail of three-wheel dirt bikes. Some say it's the most dangerous dirt bike ever made, but that's up to debate. I'll let you guys decide that for yourselves. I've seen some evidence to say that it might well be. Ultimately, the Honda ATC 250s and all of the Honda ATCs were banned in the late 80s, and if there was any stock left in dealers, they were supposed to be destroyed, which is why I think they're so sought after nowadays. As we're about to find out, this went crazy at the auction, so let's watch the bids come in. So the bids are coming in starting at £8,500. We're up to £9,000, £9,500, they're coming in thick and fast. £10,000 now. A little bit of a wait at 10,000, up to 10,500. 11 quickly. How high is this going to go? 11,500. 12,000. 12,500. 13,000 quickly. That's in the room.
13,000 I've got in the room. 13,000. Anybody else in the room?
Oh, 13,500. 14,000.
At £14,000. 14.
How high is it going to climb? How desperate are people to get a pretty clean ATC 250? It's not brand new. We could see that it had been ridden. £15,000 now. That's crazy. That's a lot of money for an old bike that you can't ride at a track. 15,500, 16,000, £16,500 now. 17,000. Surely this is the top now. Surely we can't go higher than this. We're waiting at 17. Is the hammer going to drop?
I'm selling it at £17,000 with a
Maybe. No, £17,500. Is that going to be it? Is that going to be £18,000 for the ATC 250? Surely that's it now.
It's being sold at 18,000.
The hammer drops. £18,000 for a 1986 ATC 250R. It's the holy grail of freewheelers. But is that a lot of money? I'm not the expert in that scene, in that world, so what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Is that cheap? Is that expensive? Or is that about right? So that's one of the biggest bikes on sale today. Let's go to one of the smallest. Next up is the 1982 Honda Motocompo. This is a folding scooter by Honda that was inspired by the folding parachute bikes from World War II. Now, when this was released back in 1982, I believe it was the smallest motorcycle that Honda had ever produced. It was specifically designed to go in the trunk of a car, the Honda City, and I think you could only buy this bike if you bought that car. It was like an extra add-on. Again, it was only available for the Japanese market, so they're pretty rare to see here in the UK. It's a quirky machine, which of course I love. It eventually went for £6,200, which is a lot of money for a little bike. Like I said earlier, there were a bunch of monkey bikes in the collection. I've picked out two here that really caught our eye. The first was the Monkey Davidson Z50J, which I'm sure definitely turned a lot of heads, and that eventually sold for £10,500. 10 grand for a monkey bike. That's absolutely bonkers. But wait until you see this next machine. Next up is the Honda Monkey Africa. This bike only had 2 kilometers on the clock, and you actually couldn't buy this from Honda themselves. They didn't make it in the factory, but they did sell the conversion kit to turn your ordinary monkey bike into this special edition. This was done to celebrate some Dakar success in the late 80s, early 90s. Now this definitely caught a load of attention, so let's watch the bids come in. So the first bid was £8,500 and it quickly went to £9,500. And then there was a bit of a lull in the room there. people debating whether it was worth that much money, but then it quickly went to 10, then 10,500. We're up to 11,500 now. 12,000 for a monkey bike. Wow.
12,000 pounds. At 12,000 bid, I
Stuck at 12,000. Is that going to be it for the Africa?
For the Africa. How many miles? 2. It's done 2 kilometers.
12,500. 13,000 pounds now for this little bike, this little monkey bike. 13,400. So the bids are coming slower now. 13,600. 13,800 pounds. 14,000. That's eye-watering. 14,200. 14,400.
14.4 bid. 14.4. Surprised by it. 14.4. At 14.6.
14,600.
14.8. 14.8 time bid. 14.8.
14,800 pounds.
600 only. 14.8.
15,000 pounds for a monkey bike. 15,200.
At 15.2 bid. 15.2.
This is bonkers.
15.2 still cheap. 2 kilometers. 15.2.
Is it going to go at
15.2? Route bid
15,200?
it is then. 15.2. Anybody else want to go? 15,000.
It's sold at 15,200 pounds. That's absolutely wild. That is crazy money for such a small bike. You could buy a properly decent CR500 for that much money, which is obviously way more usable, and you can safely say it's definitely 10 times the bike as a Z50. That's wild. Let me know your thoughts on that, a £15,000 monkey bike. So we're going to get to the jewel in the crown, the last bike that we featured, and that's of course the crated 350 Banshee. But I've just noted down some of the other bikes that we saw on our way around the HJ Pugh auction house that were interesting to us. So let's just take a look at some of these prices. It's £2,900 for a Tri-Z YT60, £3,200 for a 1982 XR80, £11,200 for a chrome Z50 monkey bike, £4,500 for an ATC 70 from 1985, £6,400 for the Motra military bike, £5,900 for a 2024 anniversary edition YZ125, £6,800 for a 2024 YZ250 in those same anniversary colours, £3,400 for a 2014 CRF 150, which you can still buy brand new from Honda. And finally, we've got here £14,300 for a 1994 Yamaha Banshee 350. That's not the crated one, that's a used one. So what is the crated Banshee going to go for? Let's find out. Here we go then, the jewel in the crown for this collection, the crated Yamaha 350 Banshee twin cylinder two-stroke. It's never been removed from its shipping crate. It's sat in that box for more than 20 years. It grabbed a load of attention online on the lead up to the auction. We obviously made our video about it, but there were a bunch of posts about this crated machine. So let's see how much it went for at the auction. Let's watch it. The bidding started at £16,000, then it quickly went up to £24,000, £26,000. This is mental. £28,000. There was a bit of a wait at £28,000. It could have gone for 28, but then someone swept in to go for £30,000. 30k for a Banshee. Is it going to sell for 30?
30,000. At £30,000, it's here for sale, ladies and gents. £30,000. Anybody else want another one like? £30,000, I'll take ones. 30,000. £30,000.
It could be selling for 30k here.
£30,000. What history you can own here? At 30,000.
31. It's not selling for 30. £31,000. 33. 32. Sorry. £32,000.
32. 32,000 pounds. 32. At £32,000, I'm bidding.
£33,000. £34,000 for the crated Banshee.
34. You won't find another, ladies and gents. 34, I'm bidding.
And that might be it.
The gavel's being raised. It's being sold at 34. £34,000. 34,000.
Sold for £34,000. The crated Yamaha 350 Banshee. Let me know your thoughts on that one. That is a lot of money for a bike that's never been taken out of the box. You don't even know if it runs. That is absolutely crazy. Let me know what you think in the comments down below about that one. So there we have it. I'm not quite sure what to say about that. It's some bonkers prices there. Collectively, the bikes that we featured in our original video, the prices totaled £142,000. That's about $190,000 without any fees on top. So overall, including fees, which was 9.6% on top of the sale price, the entire collection brought in £595,000, which is just about $800,000. Let me know what you think about all of that in the comments down below. After watching that auction, one thing I think can be certain, if you've got some classic Hondas or Yamahas in your garage, you're on to a good thing.